Hello dear students, in today's class we will study Chapter 1 Visitors at Duliatal, page number 3 by Swapna Datta. She is a children's writer who writes in English, Hindi and Bengali as she does not believe in sticking to one kind of writing. This chapter contains certain words or tones spoken in Bengali. This is an imaginary story of a place named Duliatal, which is located in the hills. Let's now read the story and find more about it. Tinku was greatly excited. Two of her aunts, Monimasi and Nutupishi, were coming to Duliatal for a visit. Both were teachers. Monimasi taught in a school in Calcutta and Nutupishi somewhere in the suburbs. They had not been to the hills before. The first paragraph introduces us with the central character of the story, that is Tinku, who seemed to be very excited. Do you know why? Because two of her aunts, namely Monimasi and Nutupishi, were coming to her place in order to visit Tinku and her family. Now we get here two Bengali terms, Masi and Pishi. Masi means our mom's sister. In Hindi we too call it as Masi. Pishi in Bengali is our father's sister. In Hindi we say Bua. I hope so now you understood who is a Masi and a Pishi. Both of Tinku's aunts were teachers. Okay, they used to teach in a school. Monimasi taught in Calcutta, which is an older name of the city Kolkata, and Nutupishi taught in suburbs. That means in the outskirts of a city. In Hindi we call it as Upnagar or Upabasti. That means a village side. And it was for the first time that both of her aunts were visiting a hilly area. This story will discuss about the difficulties and the hurdles which initially they face while visiting Duliatal, but later on they love its natural beauty. Let's move on to enjoy the story. What will they think of Duliatal? Asked Tinku. They will love it, won't they? I hope so, said Tinku's mother. I only hope it doesn't rain when they arrive. Why not? Asked Tinku, surprised. It's lovely when it rains. All the little streams become rivers where we can sail boats. Tinku's mother laughed. You used to hate the rains too, Tinku, she said. Oh, that was very long ago, said Tinku. I am used to Duliatal now and it's a lovely place. The lines I just read was a conversation which was going on between Tinku and her mother about this place, Duliatal. Tinku was asking her mother about how the aunts will feel after visiting the place. On the other hand, she was also somewhere sure that they are going to love it. But Tinku's mother added that it should not rain while they reach the place. Tinku was surprised in hearing this, as she loved rains. As a small girl, she enjoyed making paper boats and sailing it in the streams. I believe you children too enjoy it. Then her mother started laughing when she hears this, as she knew how much Tinku hated rain. But Tinku made it clear that it was a story of a very long time ago, and now she is used to it because Duliatal is a lovely place. As it happened, there was a heavy downpour on the morning of their arrival. It's time to go to the bus stand, said Tinku's father, peering at the wall clock. Where are the raincoats and the umbrellas? Let's take a couple of extra shawls as well. It's kind of shivery. Could I come to the bus stand with you? Tinku asked her father. Yes, but wear your raincoat and don't forget your gumboots, he said. Please underline the word shivery here. Okay, so now it was time for Tinku's father to visit the bus stand in order to receive the guests. But there was heavy rainfall since morning on that very day. Tinku's father was searching for umbrellas and raincoats and also a couple of extra shawls for the guest because it was very cold. Shivery means very cold. At the meantime, Tinku asked her father that she also wanted to accompany him to the bus stand. her father agreed and advised her to wear the raincoats and the gumboots. Underline the word gumboots. Gumboots means the long rubber boots that we wear to keep the feet from getting wet. Rain continued to pour down when the half-filled bus from Kathgodam arrived at the bus stand. Underline the word Kathgodam. It is a suburb in the Nainital district of Uttarakhand. Tinku jumped up and down eagerly. She was very fond of both her aunts. Monimasi told her the most enchanting stories when she visited her in Calcutta. And Nutupishi was great fun to be with and quite a good photographer. But they did not seem to be among the passengers. Underline the word enchanting. It means pleasing stories, which are very attractive. Now in this paragraph we come to know that it was continuously raining when the bus arrived from Kathgodam. And Tinku, as she was very fond of both her aunts, jumped up and down in excitement. Can you see this picture? The excitement of Tinku is visible here. Tinku loved Monimasi because she used to tell her interesting stories. On the other hand, Nutupishi was a very good photographer and Tinku just loved spending time with her. But they were not seen among the passengers. Nutu, Moni, called out Tinku's father in a loud voice. Are you there? Hurry up and get down. The bus will leave in a minute. Two huddled figures, almost buried under cardigans, overcoats and shawls, crawled out of the bus. Underline the word cardigans. It means the woolen clothes to keep ourselves warm. Now, as Tinku and her father was unable to see the aunts, so her father started calling them in a loud voice. He asked them to hurry up and get down the bus because it is soon going to move in a minute from the stand. Then they saw two persons were crawling out, that means moving out slowly of the bus, wearing cardigans and overcoats. Overcoats means long warm clothes in order to protect ourselves from the cold that we wear. Let's now see the reactions of both the aunts after they visit Duliatal through these lines. What monstrous weather, said Monimasi in a feeble voice. It's freezing, said Nutupishi. Really, Dada? I don't know why you asked us here at this time of the year. It always rains in the hills. You will soon get used to it. Everyone does, said Tinku's father, taking the bags from their hands. Tinku, cried Monimasi, catching sight of her. Why did you come out in this rain? And where's the taxi? Asked Nutupishi, looking around. Tinku burst out laughing. We can't go to our house by taxi, Nutupishi. The path's too narrow. A rickshaw then? Asked Monimasi. I'm afraid you will have to walk, said Tinku's father, laughing at the look on their faces. It's not far. Here, get into these raincoats and take these umbrellas. In these lines, students, you need to underline here that Tinku cried Monimasi, catching sight of her. Why did you come out in the rain? Question might come in the exam that why did Tinku come in the rain? That who asked this question? Okay, who is the speaker of these lines? Then again question might come that who asked for the taxi? Then you need to write it was Nutupishi who asked for the taxi. So now we come to know that both of them were not at all happy with the weather of Duliatal. But Tinku's father somehow tries to convince them by saying that rainfall is a very common thing in the hills and soon they will be used to it. In the meantime, Monimasi was questioning Tinku as to why she came out in the cold. On the other hand, Nutupishi was inquiring for a taxi. And Tinku started laughing loudly as the path leading to their house was very narrow and a taxi could not enter it. Tinku's father too started laughing at the look on their faces. Then He added that their house isn't very far, so they can go by foot. "Walk all the way to your house," cried Nutupishi. "And I don't see any road," said Monimasi. "There it is," said Tinku, pointing to the narrow track leading down to their house. Monimasi said, "I can't go down that path. It's so narrow and there's such a steep drop on the other side." Please underline the word steep drop. It means a slanting road. "There is not even a railing one can hold on to," said Nutupishi. "Don't be frightened," said Tinku's father. "Here, hold my hand." "And you hold mine, Monimasi," said Tinku. "Don't worry, you won't fall down." Please underline, "and you hold mine, Monimasi," said Tinku. Question might come that whom did Tinku ask to hold her hand? Now we see that both of these aunts were very tensed because they need to walk in that very bad and unpleasant weather. They were much worried because of the path, which was very narrow and was slanting on the other side without having any railing to hold on to in order to keep themselves safe from falling down. But Tinku and her father came up with a solution. He asked Nutu to hold his hand and Tinku asked Monimasi to hold her hand and walk ahead. It seemed like a never-ending journey to Tinku. Both her aunts were so scared of the narrow path that they took ages to cover the short distance. "Thank God we have reached the house," said Monimasi with a shudder as they neared the gate. "I am not going to step out until it's time to leave." "I don't think I want to either," said Nutupishi. "There's nothing to see except dripping trees and dark bushes. I don't think we will get to see the snow range at all." "Oh yes, you will, when it is bright and sunny," said Tinku in a comforting voice. Here you will underline with a shudder, which means that with her body shaking because she felt very cold and afraid. Then next you will underline dripping trees. That means that drops of rain were falling from the trees. Tinku felt this journey to be a never-ending one because both of her aunts were walking so slowly that they were taking a very long time to cover this short distance. When Monimasi saw the gate of the house, she stated that she won't be coming out of the house until it's time for them to go back to Kolkata. Nutupishi agreed to her because she believed that they won't be able to see the snow range. It was only the dripping trees and the dark bushes that were visible. Tinku did not agree and asked them to wait for the sunshine. "Here we are," said Tinku's father, opening the gate. Her mother was already at the door to welcome them. Soon after, they had their tea. Monimasi and Nutupishi dived under the quilts and blankets with a hot water bottle each. Now, while they were having a discussion, Tinku's father opened the gate to let them in, and her mother too was waiting at the door to welcome the guests. Then, after having the tea, they went quickly under the quilts and blankets because of the shivering cold. But when they opened their eyes the next morning, the whole place was filled with sunlight. The sloping garden was full of colors. The snow range beyond the garden shone golden in the sun. The dark hills in the distance had silver trickles falling down into the green plains below. "Oh, how beautiful!" cried Monimasi and Nutupishi together. "I told you so," said Tinku, joining in the laughter that followed. The next morning, when they opened their eyes, do you know what they saw? Look at this picture. Can you see the happiness in their faces by looking at the beautiful view? Yes, there was sunlight and therefore the garden looked full of colors. The snow range appeared golden in the sun and the waterfalls looked like their streams of silver. Looking at this view, both Monimasi and Nutupishi exclaimed together that, "Oh, how beautiful it is." Tinku added that she already told them so, and thus they started giggling and laughing together. With this, we come to an end of this chapter. Please read it thoroughly to understand it better. Thank you.